What's up, good people? It's the Truth Is podcast. Today we're gonna do something a little different. We're gonna have what's called a Q&A part one. We've been getting a lot of emails and texts for certain topics and certain questions that our listeners have for us. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna answer some of those questions. We'll drop these Q&As every now and then, like in between the bi-weekly episodes, just so you have some feedback and know that we are listening to your questions and concerns. All right, so my first question that we got from the listeners is, how do you deal with toxic in-laws? You know, people, one of the listeners wants to know, like, when it comes to your relationships, how do you deal with toxic in-laws? It could be something where you go to a church with those toxic in-laws, or just they're all in your marital business. And we're going to go around the room, and we're going to start with you, Pop. How do you deal with toxic in-laws?
I get divorced. That's it. Yo, now seriously, you got to realize that you're not married to your spouse's parents, so you need to communicate with your spouse of problems that you may be having, that you're receiving from the in-laws, or feedback that you're getting from your in-laws. But overall, this might be something you're gonna just have to live with. It's gonna be something you have to
I
live with.
disagree with that. You're not gonna tell me I just have to live.
No, toxic. I'm
in-laws.
not married. I'm not married to them. I don't have to see them. They're not living with me.
Okay, so that has to be a decision that you and your wife have to make.
Right, that's what I said. You have to speak with them. But I'm not married to them. So they might continue to be toxic no matter what.
Well,
No matter what the conversation.
they can be toxic in your marriage if you don't allow them to be.
Yeah, they could be toxic. They're not toxic. They ain't necessarily toxic in the marriage, but toxic towards me. Towards me.
Okay.
So
you remove yourself.
yeah, I remove myself. I won't allow them to, get in my area. They're gonna be who they are. I'll speak with my spouse about it, about things that is
So
happening.
what if your spouse does nothing about it and allows
Like
that relationship to continue to be toxic towards you? I mean, how do you handle that? Your wife knows that this is going on, and this is the type of relationship you have with her in-laws. And would you say get divorced?
no, I didn't no, I'm saying.
How do you handle that then?
That's either listen. If I don't ignore them, I'm going to become toxic toward them.
But is that healthy then for your marriage?
No, but that's the only thing you could do. You only can speak with your spouse. It's their parents. It's their parents. You can sit down and speak with them as well, and have a conversation and see what's really going on, or why they feel this way.
Right.
But it could be that the in-laws just don't like you for their child, and there's nothing you can do about it. There's nothing you can
The
do.
only thing you do about it is that, you stay, like you said earlier, you just separate yourself from those people and concentrate on your nucleus family, your wife and your children, and that's it. Like they don't even exist. Because the bottom line is, when you get married, that's no longer your nuclear family. Your nuclear family is you, your husband, and your children.
Exactly.
So therefore, how they feel about you is irrelevant at this point. You
Right.
gotta focus on making sure this is good.
And I'm not
Your
gonna.
husband
And
is
the
good.
problem is gonna occur with children, because I'm not gonna bring my children over to
Around
toxic
that.
grandparents that speak badly of me. So
Right.
they're gonna have to either learn how to not like me and keep it quiet, or they will not have that much of a relationship with their grandchildren.
Well, I say any woman, any wife that allows that to happen, to me, that's like a disrespect to the marriage.
Exactly.
That you allow your parents to say and do whatever to your husband. And it's not okay.
I think at some point you have to find a common ground. You don't have to like me.
Right.
You could hate me,
Right.
but there has to be some type of respect.
Exactly.
Don't disrespect me. Don't disrespect me in front of my children. Don't disrespect me in front of my wife. And at that,
Not even in front of you, behind my back.
No,
Yeah,
that's true.
yeah,
That's true.
yeah. To anybody.
That is absolutely correct. There has to be a level of respect where, whether you like me or not,
That's irrelevant.
Huh?
That's irrelevant.
No,
Right.
that's true.
Right.
Whether you like me or not is irrelevant.
Because I'm not married to you.
But it is up to your spouse to get it correct with her or his parents.
Right.
Right.
So the second question that we received from our listeners is, the question is for the three of you. How do you live authentically? Meaning the three of you are very highly respected, very successful in what you do, just very respected individuals. So how do you live authentically? So Sonia, please, how do you be you? And how do you live as Sonia? Like, what do you do to keep yourself motivated and of high standards and morals?
You just be yourself. You just be yourself, man, and have respect for yourself. And you also have to not allow people's opinion, what they have to say about you matter. I think I'm a different being. Like I got tough skin, so I don't care what you think about me or how you feel about me. As long as I'm happy with me, and I be respectful, demand respect. Don't do anything to disrespect yourself. And I think that authenticity will come naturally from people, and you live your truth. You are who you are. Not everybody's going to like you, not everybody's going to love you, but the fact is that you gotta be who you are.
Well, I used to, try to please everybody, try to fit in with everybody, and then I got tired. I didn't know who. I'm tired of being who Anita wanted me to be. I got tired of being who Sonia wanted me to be. I got tired of being who T wanted me to be. I just got tired. So you said, you know what I'm gonna try being? I'm gonna try being me.
Right.
And I can be me very well, better than I could be who everybody else wanted me to be.
Right. I agree.
Absolutely. As Sonia has said, you got to live your truth. Mm-hmm. This is who I am. Mm-hmm. Take it or leave it. Mm-hmm. Like it or love it. Mm-hmm. Or hate it, whatever. You got to be true to you and how you feel and how you think. As long as you ain't disrespecting people, as long as, you're not hurting nobody else, you got to be who you are.
Right.
I'm best at being me, as Poppy just said.
Nobody can be you.
Nobody can do that better than me.
Yeah. Yeah.
The next question that we have is, how do spouses not lose themselves in a marriage, quote unquote, or a relationship? Because in relationships, people try to give their all and sometimes sacrifice themselves and what they normally would do for the good of the relationship. So how do spouses not lose themselves in a marriage or relationship, Sonia?
You don't lose yourself. Again, it's self worth. Like, you have to be good to yourself, because then you can't be good to no one else. And losing yourself in your marriage, I think that's something that has to be agreed upon with your spouse. Like, he has to respect you as an individual and what you want and what you need, and vice versa. You can't. I guess you could be. I don't know how to answer that, because that was never me. I never lost myself in my marriage. I always was who I was, and my husband always allowed me to be who I am, and and vice versa. And I had a separate life other than being the wife. I had my individuality. I had friends. I did things for me. So I didn't lose myself. You got to be about yourself, not selfless.
No,
Selfish, but selfless.
Yes.
That's what you have to be.
So, you want to go, Anita? Oh.
Well, I just wanted to piggyback
Okay.
off of something she said, because she said she can't identify. Well, I can identify, because I was the one who did lose themselves in their marriage. Everything was about my kids. Everything was about my spouse. And everything was about my mother-in-law, because we were very close. So therefore, I lost who Anita was.
Right.
When now I'm at a place where my children are grown, I'm no longer married, my mother-in-law is no longer here, and now it's a matter of me trying to figure out who Anita is.
Right.
So again, something else you said was it has to be agreed upon between you and your partner, because I was busy trying to push my partner and trying to be that support to my partner, and it wasn't reciprocated. No one tried to feed into me.
Right.
I was always depositing into people, but no one deposited into me.
Right.
No one. I had a friend of mine that's constantly depositing into me, telling me, "Okay, I need you to read this book because this book is a self-care book. I watch you give to everybody else. This is about you. So that's how it works, hand in hand. I help you, you help me. We lift each other.
Right.
Pop.
So I think if you build your relationship, if you work on your relationship with your spouse, you won't lose yourself. But I found as I started to work on my relationship with my spouse, I started to find more of myself. I started discovering more things that I like and she has in common with me, and we grew together more than lose myself. So I would tell someone that feel like they're losing themselves, they need to start building a relationship with their spouse so they start to like come together, like intertwine, and they don't lose themselves, but they find more of themselves.
So you're not busy being selfish.
What is wrong?
I know, I can't get that
I
word
don't
out
know.
for some
I'm
reason.
still stuck on your
I know.
vice versa.
I know. don't ask me
I don't
what's
know.
wrong today.
No, I feel like
You
when
know what I mean.
In a relationship, there should be a difference, but like a button, like a snap on a button. One part is an outie, one part is an innie, and you snap
Right.
it. That's how marriage should come together. So you don't lose yourself, because if your button is open, you guys really don't know where you belong at until you come together and snap. If that makes sense.
It makes sense.
Right.
I think when you see something in it's like when you see something in your children, like you see that they have a talent in certain things. You try to enhance that. So you do the same thing with your spouse. Wow, you do that good. You ever think about trying this or doing this? So it's like you feed into each other. You help each other. This even though we're doing things together as a family, we should also encourage, do something for yourself.
right.
Find your niche. What is your niche? What is it that you
And
want to do?
support it.
Yes, and have the support of your spouse to help you get through that. And,
Right.
just like I'm holding you up, you can't fail.
Right.
Failure's not an option for you,
Right.
because my hand is always in your back. I'm
Right.
always going to be there to cushion you.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So we got to do that for each other.
Right.
And when you see things in each other, sometimes we could do things together and build as a family unit. But, also when I see something in you and say, wow, you're really good at that. You need to really try and look deep into that.
One pushes the other.
Absolutely.
So that's what I would say.
The last question is, and this is more from a what would you do perspective. How do you heal from mental abuse from a marriage? That was one of the questions that we got in email or text. How do you heal from mental abuse from a marriage? So, some of our podcasters may not have been able to experience that, but I think they're wise enough to get some good insight. Sonia, what do you think about that?
Well, I definitely never suffered from that. But if you think you suffer from it, you need therapy. You need to go talk to someone about it. Pop?
Mental abuse from a spouse. I don't know.
From a marriage.
Like, so the marriage is over, or the marriage is
Or it could be a relationship also. It could be-
that's over now, and you suffered mental abuse.
Yes.
From it.
So I would take it like a death. That's how I would take it. I take it like a death. When you first somebody that dies in your life, and then you have to slowly get over it, get through it. You're gonna have to follow those lines: therapy, self-evaluation,
Fine.
time, some crying, everything, a little bit of
And
everything.
you pick yourself up afterwards.
That's your try to do some things to try to land on your feet. That's the only way I could. I'm not really strong in that.
I think it becomes you have to deal with self-care at that point. When you've dealt with that kind of abuse, you got to deal with self-care, and it's all about you now. So yeah, you need counseling, you need therapy, sometimes, and process. You got to process all that has gone on, all that has happened with you, and sometimes you have to stop reliving it every day.
Right.
And this is a practice behavior, because this thing right here can take you under. And so many times when we go through things, we keep rehearsing that thing that happened to us over and over every day. We rehearse it from start to finish every day. We relive it every day in our mind. So sometimes you have to stop it. And it's easier said than done. That's why I say it's a practice behavior. When you feel yourself going there, you have power to stop it. No, not today. We're not dealing with this today. And you speak positive things to yourself. You look yourself in the mirror every day. Speak positive things to yourself and say, I'm not going to deal with this today. I'm going to have a good day no matter what. It's a beautiful day. My life is wonderful. You speak positivity to yourself, because now you got to change your mindset and do self-care. And I think self-care would be
Well, I
what will
also
help you
think
get
that,
this.
which you got to stay away from that person, because if you saying that you're mentally abused, then you have an abuser. That's who you've been dealing with. So what do? You stay away from an abuser. You don't engage. You have less conversation. And that's how you start healing, when you stay away from that abuser.
And block them. Don't talk to them.
Block
Don't
them.
let
Don't
them
talk
speak
to
to
them.
you.
Whatever.
Get rid of it.
And
No.
stop, like you say, stop reliving whatever the issue was, and stop trying to figure out a way how to abuse them back, how to get back at them.
That's true.
Because you sit there and you play it in your mind, and you constantly thinking about how to get them because they abuse you.
It's the law of reciprocity.
Yeah.
We all reap what we sow.
Yeah.
We don't have to pray, wish, or hope for it.
Yeah.
It happens
Yeah.
that way.
Yeah.
And don't be afraid to find somebody that you can vent to.
Yeah.
Even if you keep telling the story over and over and over.
Yeah.
Somebody that'll listen to you, just let it out.
You're purging yourself of it.
Yes.
Right.
Talking, you're releasing it. Let it go.
Yeah.
Let it go.
Yeah.
Find that person that you can do that with and just let it go.
And be honest about whatever that situation was. Don't try to be righteous and I never did anything. Be honest with yourself and heal yourself.
Like I still love them, even though I
Absolutely.
I still love
Yeah.
them, and I went from not
You
knowing
never
what to say to knowing a lot now. Wow.
You never expect that you could still love a person who did all of this to you.
Right.
You never expect it.
Right.
When you talk about it, you tell your friends, "Oh, if this happened, I'm never gonna do this."
Right.
No, until you're in it.
Right.
You never put into the equation that you still have emotional feelings
Right.
toward that person that caused you harm.
That's why you feel the way you feel.
Absolutely.
But it's only time is going to change that.
Absolutely.
So, for our subscribers on YouTube and our listeners on email and our text people who, always giving us feedback and have questions, keep them coming. There are a lot of questions, a lot of things you want us to talk about. We'll just try to get to them, as soon as possible. There is a whole lot. Just keep sending us those emails at truthish1311@gmail.com. Please leave comments on the YouTube comment section. Please subscribe, because we do drop these little bonus episodes here and there. And just continue to share so we can grow and help more people. We've gotten a lot of feedback of all the people that we've helped, and that's what we're here for. We're not here to mudsling. We're here to bring, some clarity to people and to help people's lives. At the end of the day, we are a faith-based podcast. There's no destruction over here. We just want to help. We just want to help. We want to inspire. We want to enlighten people. We want to motivate people. because and we do touch on topics that are a little different than what you would expect from a typical podcast. So we thank you, and just keep subscribing and keep those questions coming, so we'll have more Q&A sessions.